What is going on, my fellow Marvel Rebels gamers? This is your boy. Ow, sorry, I had root canal done. They hurt. Bloopers. All right, what is going on, my fellow Marvel Rivals gamers? It's your boy Apxche here, and today we're going to do a season 3 tier list, right? So, I'm gonna go over the characters, talk about if they're good or bad. I'm not gonna try to take too much time explaining everything because I want to kind of get y'all in and get y'all out, right? So, enough jabbering, let's go. First things first, I guess we'll just start from A and go down. Adam Warlock. Adam is I say Seator. I don't think Adam is bad, but I think he heavily relies on his team ups as well as the mechanical skill it takes to get a lot of value out of Adam, as well as matchups. Makes it really hard to play him unless you're playing like a res comp. Right? So, headshots to get reset heals. If they had double shield, good luck. BP. I think BP's really good. I don't really know if I'd put him in A. I think he's pretty good where he's at. He's one of those characters where you have to adapt to, and if you don't, he kind of just farms you, right? So, but it's not because he's broken, but it's because people are unable to adapt. Black Widow. I think Black Widow is a lot better than people think. She does rely on the Mantis, but I think honestly, I think I could put her in A. I think with a Mantis, and if you just have aim, if you're that guy or that girl with Mantis, you can wreck lobbies. I wholeheartedly believe that. Captain America, A as well. I don't think he's busted, but I think Cap is a really good tank right now. I think he applies a lot of pressure. He's very survivable, and he is really, really fast. Pair that with a dive with BP or something like that, and it's just really obnoxious. Heck, with any basically flanker. He's pretty good. Has a good ult, right? Things like that. Hulk, I'd say Hulk is B as well. I think Hulk is a character that just takes a lot of skill, but also has a lot of good attributes. He has a second life with his ult. He can exile people, basically just take you out of the fight. You're basically unalive for however many seconds, right? But he just takes a lot of skill. So it kind of makes me want to drop him down to C because I feel like it's not because he's bad, right? So what changed this from to niche, right? What changes this to niche? Changes the bad. Same, great, balanced, right? We'll do that. Make it a little bit easier. Niche. Hulk, it just takes a lot of skill. If we're talking about the upper echelon of skill, if everybody has the max amount of skill on a character, oh yeah, I think he's up here. But I think if we're talking about just in general, I'd put him in niche because he's good, but he takes a skill set. Cloak and Dagger, I think she's pretty balanced. Her capes are really good. Her veils, whatever you want to call them. It just takes a little bit of coordination. But I think she's balanced. I don't think she's great. I don't think she's niche. I think she's pretty good. I think you can just pull her out, and she's chilling. Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is pretty balanced. I think the only gripe I have with him is his passive that anti-heals him. I think you took that away, and I think he's great. But we'll just put him in balance for now. I think that's the big thing holding him back. Groot. I think Groot's still great. I think there's one thing that kind of messes up Groot. In my opinion, like one thing that really, really messes him up, and that's going to be the Wolverine. As a person that plays Groot, I'm actually not too afraid of playing into Pun. I'm not too afraid into playing into like into Bucky's. I think it's fine. I think I can manage it well. Maybe I'm delusional. I think he's great. At worst, he's balanced. He's very balanced. But I would say he's great. So we're gonna leave him up here. Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye is getting. He's not really getting the respect he deserves. I think Hawkeye is a great DPS. I think Hawkeye has the potential to kind of just delete people off the server. So if you have aim for Hawkeye, it just takes one arrow. Doesn't matter if you're BP, Pella, whatever. If he hits that shot, you're cooked, right? In the right scenario, like he just kind of like pops your head off, right? So I think Hawkeye is definitely a character that needs more respect. As we see players start to get just better and better at the game, you're gonna see these characters that, like for example, Widow was deemed as really bad because people weren't really running her Mantis. But as you see, the characters are getting played in the ways they need to be played. You're gonna start to see like, this might need a little bit of tweaking. And I think Hawkeye is one of those characters, especially with the Luna Snow team up, can be really annoying, really, really annoying. Hela, I think Hela will always be insane. She's just an all-around great DPS, and she's one of those characters that always has to be good. At worst, I'd put her at great, but I think she's actually really, really good. There's really not much to explain about it. And then we'll kind of jump to the back real quick and talk about Phoenix. I think Phoenix is also insane. I think Phoenix is like a budget Hela with a mixture of Moon Knight. But she has like where Hela struggles, Phoenix thrives, right? So Hela is a great character, but what Hela struggles in is having to fight in those tight knit corridors where her single damage can only apply to certain characters. And if you're shooting a tank, but the DPS are behind them doing things, it's kind of rough. Compared to Phoenix, you can still hit them headshots. You can't really like just delete things. You can, but not as good as Hela. But you're also hitting the tank while hitting the DPS behind it, right? So it's like you can take advantage of situations that Hela really can't fully take advantage of. So I'd say it's really map dependent. But if we had to go off of, I feel like the map pool we play off of, I'd probably say Phoenix is a little bit better than Hela right now. Iron Fist. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a character. I think he's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. Um, he just feels like I want to put him in niche. He's definitely not balanced. I think he's weaker. But I don't think he's niche. I think he's bad. I think you could just pick something else. And it would do what he does, but probably better. Iron Man. I think he's niche because I don't think he's balanced, but I don't think he's great. I think he's niche. I think Iron Man on certain maps can feel really oppressive, but on other maps which are more open, it's hard. Jeff. I think Jeff is Jeff is weird. I think Jeff is balanced. I think people don't fully understand how to play the character. I think he's a lot better than people think. Um, but we'll put him in niche for now. We'll put him in niche because I think Jeff is a character people still haven't fully figured out yet, and people are like, "Oh, well, you figured it out." Yes and no. I think I kind of have a good idea of where Jeff is good and where he's not. I just kind of just mastering that skill, right? I think Jeff has a high skill ceiling. He's got to put the time in. So for the amount of work that you need to put into Jeff, you might. I'd still say he's niche. I don't think he's bad, but I think it just takes a lot of work. And the same thing with Hulk, where Hulk can be a lot better, but it just takes so much work to be good at it that, for the most part, it's like kind of brings him down. Loki, I think Loki's still insane. Loki is basically the best support in the game. You can double up on whatever support else has basically second support ult within his abilities. Great mobility, great damage, great healing. He's a great character. Luna Snow, I don't think she's insane. I think she's weird, right? Because she does a lot of damage, has a fantastic ult, has crowd control. Um, I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I'd put her up there just for the fact that she has a lot of good things with her kit. Yeah, I think she's really good. Magic, bad. I think Magic is a fun character to play, but I just think she's too predictable, which makes it hard for her to get value against better players. She's not. I don't know, man. Like I don't want to say she's bad, but she is like a kind of one-dimensional character. Magneto. Magneto is. I don't want to say Magneto is insane. I feel like the Magneto like glaze is overhyped. But at the same time, he is really good. When I think about Magneto, he's definitely a good all-around tank. What does he suffer into? Suffers into like hard dive because you can't really protect everybody. You have to be really precise. Alexa, cancel alarm. Um, we'll put him in great for now. We'll put him high great, just due to the fact that he's a really good tank. But I'm not completely sold on insane. Maybe when we get everything filled out, we'll bump him up. But as of right now, I'm kind of feeling like he's probably the best tank in the game right now. Because he's just so versatile. So versatile. Mantis, niche. You got to have the right conditions. She's not bad, but she's definitely a lot better than I feel like people are going to give her credit for. Into comps that she can get resets, banger. Into comps she can't get resets, not banger. Same thing as Adam, the headshot thing, man. It's just that she provides a little bit more utility than Adam does, which I value more than what Adam brings. Moon Knight, I think Moon Knight's balanced. Um, Good aim allows you to do a lot of things, but it's just the fact that he's a projectile makes him a little bit harder. Um, Good spam damage, but it kind of makes me want to kind of drop him down into niche, into like high niche, just due to the fact that like he's good, but he's not that good. You know what I'm saying? You kind of want to play him into certain conditions, so we'll put him into niche. Namor, against most of the backliners, I feel like Namor kind of just loses. But what he does that these two don't do is he provides easier consistency against flanks, which I think will put him in the great category. Penny Parker, niche. I'm not with the Penny hate. I think a lot of people overhate Penny. I think it's another character where, like Hulk, like Jeff, It or like even these supports, it takes a lot of effort and prep to be good at Penny. If you're not gonna put in that time, she's just gonna suck because you need prep. It's like when you think of a game like Valorant, like KO. KO is insane, but KO feels bad without prep. If you don't have lineups, if you don't, yada yada, if you don't have practice, it's gonna feel like garbage. Even though he has a great ult, her ult's not really in that argument. But Penny without prep, she's a good counter to flanks. She's really good into tanks with no shields because you can constantly stun them over and over and over and over again. Um, so she definitely has her opportunity. She can cancel ult with an ability. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll put her in niche for now. Psylocke. I think Psylocke's insane. I think Psylocke's also underrated. Not for the higher end of gaming, obviously not. But as somebody who's gotten to mid Celestial, like I still don't even see her like all the time, or she's not even getting banned all the time. And I feel like it's like why not? Like she's a great character, has stealth, has a good ult, right? Like when Loki's in the game, she definitely feels a little bit worse because of the clones and the whatever. But like she can destroy these characters. Like she can instantly, especially when she has an Emma, she has that double damage basically. Like she just blows things up. I definitely think he's really really good. Punisher balanced. I think he's an overall good character. I don't think he's inherently just flat out. Honestly, if I'm thinking about this, I don't know. Like, yeah, honestly, I might put him into great. I feel like he's a really good answer for tanks right now. He's not insane, but he's just a really good pick right now. Because we're kind of like in a pokey meta, and I think that kind of drops the Namor down to low key because I feel like Namor, what Namor does, uh, I don't feel confident putting him above these in the optimal situations because he has single target damage, good against flanks, but at the end of the day, it's like if we're talking about like equally skilled, if they can all hit their shots, like these characters are just gonna delete the flanks on their own. He has a kick to kind of defend herself. Yeah, I think this is probably better. Rocket. I think Rocket's balanced. I think Rocket could use a buff, but I don't think he's bad. Yeah, the res beacon's nice, the ult's nice. Um, I just feel like he's too heal body. I would like to see him move in a direction where he's able to do more things. So what I would say is I would honestly kind of give him I think like it's kind of how Baptiste works, where like your heals and your damage are separate categories. So you don't kind of feel bad about shooting your gun and wasting heal potential. I can feel like if you separate that, it kind of gives him more incentive to shoot his gun. Buffing his gun, I wouldn't do because if you buff Rocket, he's gonna turn into like a kind of like Jeff hybrid thing where like he's like a damage character. But I feel like his gun's already kind of hard to use. I'd say maybe give him. Hmm, I don't know, man. Like it's weird, but Rocket's a definitely weird character because you don't want Rocket to be good, like too good, because then he just makes the game unfun. But you don't want him to be bad because then like I feel like he's a character that has potential to like be fun, but it's weird. But I'd say with some tweaks, we can he'd be great. But I think he's balanced. I think he's okay. Scarlet, I think she's bad. I think I would want to put her into niche, but it's like if you're just good enough, the other characters just feel better. So we'll put her in bad. Spidey, niche. I think Spidey's a character that he's like so like it's like kind of like volatile. Like in a match, he can either be like great or he can feel balanced or he can feel like so that's why I put him in niche. Like I feel like it's really matchup dependent. But I think like Spider-Man, like against like people that aren't super coordinated, kind of just pull teams apart. You can literally pull them apart. That's what I'd say. Squirrel Girl, I think she's balanced. I think Squirrel Girl is just people see her as a no skill character, but I feel like she has good crowd control. She has a little bit of vertical mobility, and she has some good burst. I feel like Squirrel Girl, definitely is a pretty decent character. I just feel like people aren't putting as much time into her because other characters just feel so much better, right? So I would want to put her in high niche, which I might do because one of those things where it's like the time you got to put in to really make her feel equal to these is probably a thing because it's projectile, but yeah. Star-Lord, balanced. I think he's kind of fallen from grace a little bit. Because I think I'm pretty sure that they like touched his damage or something. But it's just weird. Like he's a good character, has a good ult, but I think as shield tanks are becoming more meta, it's harder for him to farm that ult up. And if he's struggling to farm the ult up, or he's forced to use a bubble to like get ult charge, starts to get a little rough. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's niche either. I think you can pull him out in a lot of situations, but I just don't think he's like as dominant as like these characters. We could bump him up to great, and I'd say that as a flanker, you can definitely bump him up. But it's like, what does Starlord do that Salok doesn't? Right? To justify putting him up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the question. Storm. I think Storm's balanced. I think Storm's in a good spot. Not too crazy, but she is good. I think where Storm shines is she makes other characters feel better. And I think that's what makes her really good. But I think that's balanced. By herself, like without like like I feel like Storm Pun or Storm whatever feels really nice. But like her by herself, if you do like a Storm with like an Iron Fist or like I know he's bad, but like if you were to like put her pair with a bad DPS, she won't feel as oppressive. But when you pair her with another good DPS, that's when she really starts to feel pretty good. Thor, I don't think Thor's bad. I think Thor's niche. I think Thor is a brawler and he's a good like anti-dive kind of character. I think when I want to play Thor, my thoughts are either they have no shields and I can spam them down. So I'm playing it's like a thing I wouldn't even say a penny, but like a thing or like a Hulk or like a Venom. That's when I feel like Thor really shines. But like like he's too slow to dive. He's not survival enough to dive. His brawls suffered because of his thingy. But I feel like if you play him right and you have support behind you, you can burn tanks. Like I feel like he's great at applying pressure to tanks. I think he's niche. I think if you're in the right situations, Thor can feel really good into certain tanks. Venom, I think Venom is pretty balanced. I think people maybe want to put him in niche. I used to think Venom is insane. I'd say he's even great. But as the more I played, I'm starting to feel like Cap is just a better Venom. Now, like let's say we put him here, right? Because in my opinion, they're very similar. It's like he can't ever go past this because I think Cap just does a better job, has a more consistent ult, and he can even kind of like get some kind of range DPS by just two punches. But when we think about it, it's like what makes Venom good that Cap doesn't have, and it's really hard to think about that. I would just say I think on maps that have more verticality, that's where the Venom shines a little bit more. But other than that, into like look at these DPS like Venom is going to struggle into most of these DPS with support behind it, so it's hard compared to Cap. It's a little bit better. Um, I don't want to put him in niche, and I don't want to put him. I think he's still good, but I just think he's better. Yeah, I think that's how I want to go about it because he's still a force to be reckoned with, but he's not. He's not a Cap. Bucky, I think Bucky's freaking. I think. Hmm. I think I take Bucky over most of these characters. Yeah, yeah. I think Bucky's pretty good. I don't know if he's insane, but I think Bucky's pretty dang good. Wolverine busted. He's a check character, but at the same time, I want to put him here because there are counters to Wolverine. Like there's ways to play around him. It's just really hard, and you have to have the champo fuller. So I don't think he's absolutely insane because if we're thinking about him by himself, like I think he's definitely a great character. Phoenix makes him giga busted, but I think he's a character that you can let through if you have the champ pool to do it. So I'd put him in great. Ultron niche. One of those characters that takes so much skill that it almost makes him not worth playing because you have to put in the time. You have to put in the time. You have to have a comp that plays around it, and that's what makes him kind of that. Because he's definitely better than balanced. I'd put him in great, but it's just that like with everything basically in this category, the amount of work it takes to be good at it, or the situation that how much it calls for the situation to circulate around you, right? Means a lot. Like same thing with Storm. A lot of this the situation has to really circulate around her. But the thing is though, like she can like I don't know that kind of makes me want to put her into niche as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. Because like by herself, like these characters by themselves are still pretty freaking good. but like, yeah, like this requires too much work around. Mr. Fantastic. I think he's balanced. I'd even like think about putting him in great. I'm gonna put him in great. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm a Fanta fan. I think he's a lot better than people think. Why? I think he plays super well in the Wolverine. I think he's a great pseudo tank. But people don't really play him like that. Or they kind of play him as like a third kind of like brawly tank. But I think if like let's say they have a wolf and you just like you're a DPS player or you're a tank player that doesn't have a big DPS pool and you don't want to run triple, you can go Mr. Fantastic, still do damage and still kind of have that tank presence. And I think that's where he shines. But I would put him at bottom of great. I wouldn't even put him at niche. I think he's good. Um, mm, but then without like a wolf into other stuff, yeah, we'll put him in balance. To be fair, to not be super biased. Invis, she's definitely great. Good into a good soft counter to Wolverine. Has an okay ult. But I think her healing can suffer on maps that are like really open, and she doesn't have that healing to really like heal characters from super far away compared to like Luna or things like that. So I'd say she's balanced. I'd say she's balanced. But I think she's definitely like she's pretty high up there, I'd say. Thing. Thing is weird because he got a buff. We're gonna save him for a little bit. Emma. I think right now Emma's definitely great. I think her team ups. I don't think she's insane. I think like into the meta we're in right now with Poke, I think she can kind of get bullied. She's kind of like a tank bully slash I'm gonna live against Wolverine. So I don't think she's insane, but I think she's definitely great. Um, yeah, I definitely put her up here. I think Mag's probably a little bit more valuable right now, brings a little bit more to the table, but she's good. Is definitely good. So yeah, Human Torch. I'm really mixing Human Torch because I think Human Torch as a character is good for one because he has a good team up with Sue. It definitely has decent damage, but I just think the fact that compared to other flyers, like let's think about this, right? Compared to Storm, compared to Iron Man, what can he do that they can't? He can get out of situations he's not supposed to get out with his slam, and that makes him better than Niche. That makes him better than a balance, and I think that makes him great because on the maps that he's good at, I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So I definitely put him in great. I'd say he's definitely going to get more value than Namor. When it comes to these guys, definitely put him up here. Um, he definitely goes up. He goes up. I'd say like right there. And in the thing, man, I haven't put enough time in the thing, so it's kind of hard to give too great of an impact on him. Comments on him. He's not bad. He's definitely. I want to say he's niche, and I want to say he's high niche. Why? Not because he's hard to master, but it's like into the meta we're in. It's like what does Thing do other than get like like I feel like you want to play Thing into specific comps. You're not picking Thing to pick Thing. Like with all these characters, it's kind of a thing too. You're not just picking them to pick them. You have a reason, and if you have a reason, that creates a niche. Where it's like I can kind of pull these out to kind of pull them out. I can pull these out because I want to pull them out. I can pull these out because I want to pull them out. But this category here is like you need to have a reason for it, and that's why I want to put him there. Not bad, but he kind of requires a reason. With that being said, that's gonna be the season 3 tier list from your boy Apxche's perspective. Y'all may agree, y'all may not. With that being said, I would love for you guys to comment, argue, but just be cordial in the comments down below. Right? Tell me what you think. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, if there's a take that I made that you like really agree with, that's a hot take. Cool. Right? But yeah, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts, man. I really love hearing y'all's opinions, even when I don't agree, because sometimes y'all give me perspectives that I don't have, right? So with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great morning, day, night, wherever you may be. It's your boy Apxche, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.